Hello and welcome to the Edu-Leaders Show on the Edu Bulletin, where we bring you the latest insights and trends from the world of education. I'm Daisy, and I'm excited to guide you through this episode. We have an esteemed guest joining us, Lina Ashar, founder of Dreamtime Learning and founder Emeritus of Billabong High and Kangaroo Kids, emphasized the need for a shift in educational priorities from skills to attitude and inner balance. Now, let's move directly into our interview. Over to you, Rumani. Let's hear what ma'am had to say.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Edu Bulletin, where educators come together to shape the future of education. And today we have with us a very special personality from the education sector. She is none other than Miss Lina Ashar. She is the founder of Dreamtime Learning and founder emeritus of Billabong High and Kangaroo Kids. So welcome to the summit, ma'am, and how's your experience being here?
It's been great. It's only been in the morning and already so many great people I've met, progressive ideas, especially, Sanjay ji from
Billabong, yes.
I love somebody who's thinking about tertiary education in a disruptive way.
Right.
Someone who understands that inner engineering and balance is going to be more important than
Right.
skills. And one of the things I loved him saying is that knowledge, skills, attitude. With knowledge and skills, kids can have whenever they want. Now.
Right.
Skills, we don't know what skills are going to be important, because, but what we can work with is the attitude. And that was a big takeaway from me. It was lovely. It was great also listening to Manmeet ji, the director, producer of his story of
Right.
Itihas. And for me, that was fantastic. It reminded me of a story that, we were the first to practice inclusion in India. And it was almost like we get all this resistance from parents. My child can't be in a classroom with an autistic or a dyslexic child, because they always thought about the effect it would have on their kids.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a parent workshop, and one mother walked in crying and she hugged me and she said, I just came back from watching Amir Khan's movie, which one?
That is a mean
That is a mean pair. And she said, I completely understand what you're doing. And then when I met Amir, I said, what it took me 6 years to do, and I had not done it yet. It took your one movie to convert that thinking, right? Narrative shifted immediately. And so the exciting thing for me with Manmeet ji is this one movie can actually get people to understand that we shouldn't politicize education.
Right.
We have to have children come to their own conclusions and do the deep thinking and the critical thinking to understand how stories get told. Because we want the world to come together and not get pulled apart. We've actually got to build bridges and not have a single narrative that's only India's or only Israel's or only Palestinian. It has to be a deeper narrative than that gets the understanding of that as humans we can thrive and collaborate and
Absolutely. The world is a global village and we should act like that in education sector as well.
Yeah.
So talking about your journey, like if you go back and look at the time when you started and now that you're thriving, so what are the challenges that you faced at that time that you overcome, and would like to share your experience so that the people who are just coming in this sector would take on this and have prepared for the big challenges in the way?
I think if you go to how design thinking works, I probably was doing design thinking before it became a thing.
Okay.
Design thinking. But basically from my Kangaroo Kids and Billabong High days, I knew I needed to shift, right? To create the new change in education, to be the thought leadership again as a brand, we needed to shift from where we were, because that was built for active-based learning. But today the world has changed. All you need to do is get kids to love learning. To do that, you've done your job well. But to do that, I needed to get out of the old brand and get into a new brand. But before I stepped into the new brand, I actually created a laundry list of issues that everyone faced, whether there were principals, there were teachers, there were school owners, there were franchisees, because in those days I was franchising, right? For me to understand, okay, why did this franchisee leave? Let me step into his shoes, have empathy and see the world from his eyes. And therefore, when I'm doing the new foundation of what I'm building, and I already have solved for those problems. So I think if every new person who's coming into education or anything that you're doing, look at the big problem you're trying to solve first, and create a blueprint for that, and then move ahead.
Right.
Having done that, look at companies that are in similar fields,
Right.
where their failures have been or where their challenges have been, and see if you can problem solve for that, so that you come up with something that's actually a solution-based service or product or whatever else.
Right, absolutely. So this was for the educators. Now, parents are also a very critical part of education of a child. So right now, like, we are seeing that there are behavior issues with the children due to X factors. We don't want to get into that. But any advice you wish to give to parents so that they can raise their kids well and not get them overpressured with things they wanted to achieve but they couldn't, but now they are pressuring their kids like anything.
And yes, the first thing is stop seeing your child's report card as your report card.
Absolutely.
In whatever it is, stop seeing your child's medal as your medal, right? It doesn't, the medal doesn't say you're a good parent or a bad parent. In fact, most parents who push their kids, the helicopter type parents, right? So,
Right.
And we all know that type of parenting may work in the short term, but in the long run, kids don't learn resilience. They don't learn to be anti-fragile. If you're clearing the roadblocks for your kids before they can face them and figure out how to solve it, then you've got a problem because they've not figured out solutions themselves. You've been so busy protecting your kids that you've not figured out how to protect themselves.
Absolutely.
So I guess my thing to every parent is your job is no different to any animal in the human kingdom, in the animal kingdom, which is your child should be able to survive without you. And every day your job is just that. How do I get my kid to be more independent, more resilient, more anti-fragile for a world that is increasingly, we don't know what's happening.
Absolutely.
I mean, this year, in my keynote, I said 38% of IIT students, graduates did not get jobs this year.
Absolutely.
So what was safe is not safe anymore. We have no certainty as to what the jobs of the future are going to be.
Exactly.
So if you can tap into your child's inherent curiosity, right? Why are kids going to social media? Why are they going to all these things that feed the dopamine in their brains the wrong way, the wrong dopamine?
Right.
It's because they're distracting themselves from a world of overwhelm, they're overmanaged, overscheduled, and we've taken so much of the things that regulate our kids away, like nature and just human connection, and
Right.
those things regulate us, right? Like if I hug you for 20 seconds, I'm going to release enough oxytocin in your body for your body system to go into a state of calm. We're taking so much of that away. So then obviously kids are going to social media to find their sense of connection, but it's not serving them. And so we're getting more anxiety and more issues, more depression, more suicides in the world because kids are using all of these things as a form of escape.
Absolutely. That's a very good advice. I think parents must, adapt to it. So last question, in your, school premises, what are some initiatives that you have taken so that, there is a balance between the technology use and also the, old model of teaching?
So first is all technology use is not the same. Right? If I use technology from the morning to the night.
Right.
But I'm self-regulated. I'm driven. I'm motivated. But what do I use technology for? When I go for a walk in the morning, I listen to a podcast. So I'm using it for learning. It's not the same as using it to entertain yourself through Netflix or anything else. I then use it to meditate. I do guided meditations. I do guided visualizations. I use it then to create. Right. So I'm the curriculum we design and we create. I'm using technology all the time. I'm looking at the newest forms of technologies. Are we looking at memes? Are we looking at GIFs? Are we looking at videos? Are we looking at all these things? And I'm up to date with technology. I can't teach kids who are digital natives anything.
Absolutely.
So it's not about balancing technology. It's getting kids to use technology in the right way. So I believe in coming into the world the kids are in. So if they're coming into a world that's full of social media, I'd rather teach them how algorithms work, how they're getting programmed by social media, how to use social media as their voice for good, right? So if you're creating an Instagram campaign or a Facebook campaign for giving your voice to, say, one of the Sustainable Development Goals or something like that, that's very different to scrolling.
Absolutely. Right? That's a utter waste of time. People are scrolling day and night.
Well, it's as simple as kids don't like to give their power away.
Right.
So if you teach kids that it's a creator economy, whoever gets attention gets the money, gets the power, gets the significance and everything. Do you want to be the employee or do you want to be the employer? So do you want to be the creator and get other people's attention by having a strong voice? Or do you want to just be scrolling because then you're giving your attention away, which is the actual currency in today's day? Right?
Absolutely.
When kids understand that, kids are actually rebellious by nature. Then they don't want to be controlled. Then they start wanting to be the controller rather than being controlled by all these influencers and the media and everything else.
That's absolutely right, ma'am. So thank you so much for sharing your insights, and I'm sure this must have been, resonated with our audience. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being here.
And I want to thank Manmeet Khurana and Dr. Shashi Pandey for inviting me to the keynote. Great experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us for this enlightening discussion. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Save the number 72170700100 and send "Hi" on WhatsApp to receive daily educational news updates and inspiring interviews from the Edu Bulletin.